Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review. This movie is a drama from the United States, English language, released in the year 1997, directed by Harmony Korine, and this film is called Gummo. So Gummo takes place in the very poor town of Xenia, Ohio, where it's recently been ravaged by a tornado. So the people have been left to pick up the pieces, and these are people that have been deemed as undesirable. So they're the underbelly of America, but Harmony Korine is going to introduce us to these people and how they live their life in very shocking ways. So what's in store for each and every one involved is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Gummo. This was a really strange experience. This is an experience that initially I didn't like, but the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. And so for those of you who know my channel, I've reviewed some other Harmony Korine movies, and the biggest criticism I had of Harmony Korine is that he lacks clarity in his storytelling. They're very interesting aspects to his filmmaking, but I just don't feel as though it has concentration. So after a while, that randomness starts to wear off and you start to want more. So that was the initial response I had from Gummo. But then I stopped to think about it and I thought, all right, well, that sense of, no purpose to the story was emulating what these characters were living, in that it was a never-ending vicious cycle of depravity. These are the underbelly society. This is what society deems as, the forgotten people. And so these were people who were facing really harsh circumstances, and they were trapped in their own world. And it was basically like deja vu. Day in, day out, they were living the same life. And so that lack of clarity in the storytelling, it just has that certain sense of hopelessness that is intensified in a very thought-provoking level. And so for once, I actually felt as though Harmony Korine's negative actually worked in a positive. And so it's a very strange sort of positive that a lot of people are not going to accept. You're going to watch this film and say it was disgusting, it was depraved. And so, yes, it is. It's disgusting, it's depraved. There's a lot of animal cruelty in the movie. There are very ugly people doing ugly things, but you are a product of your environment. And I felt as though Harmony Korine gave us an insight into the undesirable of society and the way that they live. If you're ignored, you're there to fend for yourself. And when you fend for yourself, you're doing things that you wouldn't do if you had the money. If you were recognized, you wouldn't do this. And so it's very foreign to different people. And so these are two different worlds. And this world is the world that you want to turn a blind eye to. But Harmony Korine is giving us an insight into people who are trying their best to cope in a really horrible circumstance. And so it's just a never-ending cycle of cruelty and hopelessness that just gave the movie a really downbeat and depressing feel. But there's a lot of conflicting emotions. There was some moments that were very funny, but the more these funny moments went on, the more sympathy I started to have for these characters, because I felt as though what they were doing was quite pathetic. But again, they are a product of their environment. And so you've got some characters in this movie where it just felt like they were very, very troubled. There were moments that had me shocked. I thought it was a very, very extreme sort of movie in the implication that the film had. There are moments, as I said, with animal cruelty that a lot of people, if you like cats, do not watch this film. But again, these are people that are doing things because of the desperate plight that they're facing. And so Harmony Korine has created an environment that is very, very dirty, very poor. I could feel the dirt and grime coming through the screen. And so these characters, nothing about this movie has any good looking qualities. The movie is very ugly and downbeat, but as I said, there's a strange sense of purpose within all the carnage, and that purpose is to emulate the never-ending cycle of abuse and violence that these people are facing, and foreign worlds to us that we don't understand and how dangerous they can be. So it's a very bizarre film. There were moments, as I said, that made me laugh through the script. It's a very random script, and sometimes it works and sometimes it just leaves you scratching your head thinking what was going on. And I felt as though there was a purpose within the story and the message was there, but I don't feel as though the message had as much clarity. And so I thought as though it needed to be a little bit clearer to really drive home that message. But for me, the message was, to what I understand, the never-ending vicious cycle of what these people were facing, the sense of deja vu and the hopelessness. And I felt as though that lack of clarity and concentration that this movie had actually helped intensify that sort of feeling. And so if you like Harmony Korine, Gummo is one I would check out. Strangely enough, I actually liked this film a lot more than I initially thought, because I could appreciate it for what it was. It was sticking the middle finger up at mainstream and showing you life for what it really is. And so it's very far out of this world, but at the same time, a strong sense of realism keeps you gripped from start to finish. Although you're never quite sure where this movie is going, you feel as though you've been on the ride. So if you feel as though this is your kind of thing, go out there and see it. I'm going to give Gummo 2.5 stars. All right, guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.